And we are live.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this session that we have today to share this wonderful news with you on the Chartered Insurance Institute accreditation of Milpark's higher certificate in short-term insurance. It is a real privilege and honor for me to welcome all of you to this session, and I trust that you will enjoy it with us. I will introduce the other faces that you can see in a short while, but let's just look at the agenda for the day. We are going to introduce ourselves to you, then I will give you a brief introduction on Milpark education. Then we will have Lawrence introducing you to the Chartered Insurance Institute and what they offer. Marissa Grindling will talk about Milpark's high certificate in short-term insurance and what this accreditation means for our students. And then we will have Jeremy taking us through the process of registration, the qualification journey, the pathways, and we will end off with some questions. Please do use the chat function if you want to ask any questions, and we will answer as we go along. We also have a poll for you to participate in whilst you are listening, and we trust that you will enjoy the session. So if I can introduce the other speakers then, I am Marilies Pitter, the Executive Dean of Milpark Education. Let me start with me. And then next in line will be Lawrence Smith. He is the Regional Director for the Chartered Insurance Institute for the Africa region. Welcome, Lawrence, to the session. And then we have Marissa Grindling. She is the lecturer and the program oversight owner for the higher certificate in short-term insurance at Milpark. Hi, Marissa. And then lastly, we have Jeremy Mullen, not the least Jeremy, but lastly for today, then from the CII, he is the accreditation manager there. Thank you for joining us, Jeremy. So if I can briefly introduce you to Milpark Education then, we are a private higher education provider in South Africa. We have been established in 1997. We are currently accredited with qualifications ranging from a certificate on NQF level 4 all the way to a doctorate on NQF level 9. We have physical campuses in Melbourne, in Johannesburg, and also in Claremont, in Cape Town, but we are fully online and we deliver anywhere where you are, anytime, and to whatever you need us to do based on where you are located. We are also part of Stadio, the biggest Stadio Holdings family, and then currently we have the Stadio private higher education provider consisting of Embury, Lysoft, SBS, and Prestige, and then we have AFTA and ourselves, Milpark, functioning under our own brand name for the time being. If we look more closely at Milpark Education, we look at our different schools on the next slide. We have the business school offering and specializing in the Masters of Business Administration, and they also have AMBA accreditation, which is internationally recognized. And we also have the doctorate and the postgrad in business administration in the business school. Then, of course, we have the School of Commerce, the School of Financial Planning and Insurance, School of Investments and Banking, and then we also have a college offering qualifications for the school leaver market. If we zoom in closely on the School of Financial Planning and Insurance then we can move to the next slide. We offer in our school regulatory exam preparations, class of business training, and then we offer qualifications ranging from the NQF level 4 certificate in financial products, and then our highest qualification at this stage is on the Postgraduate Diploma in financial planning level. We also offer CPD courses ranging from 2 hours to 4 to 6 weeks that we help students to prepare and then also to make them work ready. We are split into 2 departments, the Department of Financial Planning and then the Department of Short-Term Insurance, or the non-life, and this is then the focus of today's session for us and our qualifications in this specific department. So if we move over to the next slide, we can show you our affiliations first with the Insurance Institute of South Africa, the Financial Planning Institute of Southern Africa, and then also now with the Chartered Insurance Institute with the RPL accreditation that they have awarded us. So if we look at the qualifications that we offer, first of all, let's start at the top of the pyramid, class of business training, and then as an entry-level qualification, the highest certificate in short-term insurance, and that is the one that we have the wonderful news to share with all of you today. Then we have the advanced certificate in short-term insurance for those that wants to specialize and move further, but for those that wants to move maybe in a management role or prepare themselves for further Qualifications, we offer the BCom with a major in short-term insurance. That brings me then to end of my part, and I want to introduce Lauren Smith, who is going to talk us and introduce us to the Chartered Insurance Institute. Thank you, Jeremy.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. So as has been mentioned, I'm Lawrence Smith. I'm the Regional Director for Africa at the Chartered Insurance Institute. I'm going to give you an overview really of the CII, our broad activities and what we're doing in Africa. Jeremy later on will speak in more detail about our qualification framework and how that relates to Milpark. So as you, many of you may be aware, although you may not be aware, the CII is the kind of largest and most international professional body specialising in the field of insurance and personal finance. We have members in around 150 countries globally, and nearly 130,000 members in total. Specialisation is very much insurance and personal finance. We don't cover other areas of financial services. That's very much the niche in which we operate. Our Chief Executive commissioned a strategic review about 5 years ago, because as a professional body, we've been around for 100 years or so, but we want to be around for the next 100 years. And what do we have to do to make sure that we remain kind of relevant to a fast changing world? Where people are getting their learning from LinkedIn and Apple, and we have new sources of competition in all sorts of fields. The slide that I've included here is taken straight out of that strategy review, and is also available in our annual report. It may be hard to see some of the detail there, but you'll be able to see it separately. But really the key point about that is that right at the pyramid of it was the view that our mission as a professional body is to build public trust in the united profession of insurance and personal finance. And very much the vision is that over the coming years, if you look at many of the other professions, such as the medical profession, the accountancy profession, legal profession, surveying profession, and so forth, that insurance and personal finance will take very much pride of place in that community of professions as a well-recognised peer in that community of professions, with many of the kind of policies and practices which people associate with those other professions. To do that, a lot of the focus that came out of our strategy review was that we had to be very engaged with our members. We had to look at our learning to make sure it was relevant to changing needs of employers, the changing needs of the marketplace, and also we had to have real kind of insight into some of the changing practices in the field of insurance and help kind of collate those. And one of the things we like to do internationally is share best practice as we see it arising from one community and one country and one continent to another. I have mentioned there we're a professional body with a royal charter that does enable us to award chartered as at the kind of pinnacle of professionalism, and Jeremy will say a little bit more about that when he talks about the qualification journey later on. Okay, next slide please. So with regard to Africa, we've been in Africa for a number of years. We've had many members in Africa, but really in recent times, and certainly my appointment a year ago, reflects the fact that we do recognise the increasing emergence of insurance as a profession in Africa. I've put there some of the statistics in terms of the members, the number of exam sittings, but probably more important than the numbers is the fact that we see a couple of things happening in Africa. First of all, we see a generation of new people coming into the employment market who are really eager to kind of learn, get the technical skills and other skills to succeed with their careers. And also we see a recognition amongst governments and regulators that insurance is vital for the continuing social and economic development, not just in South Africa, but throughout the continent. So we want to do whatever we can to help facilitate, enable and support the development of a trusted profession. Trust is one of those things very hard to earn, but once you've earned it, it goes a long way. I think it's Levi Strauss who say their motto is love our clothes and trust our company. And that's very much one of the ethos that we see as a vital part of the insurance sector in Africa, achieving greater penetration and providing greater social benefit. Okay, if we go on to the next slide. I think we've put in the chat a link to this. This is at the end of last year, December, I published a year in review, which just gave a snapshot of some of the things that we've been doing in Africa last year. Obviously, I won't go through the detail of this now, but as I say, you can see it in the chat. A couple of the key things is that we work with many partners throughout Africa. We don't have a big enough footprint ourselves to just work on our own, so partnerships is absolutely vital for what we're doing. We featured in that a number of the partnerships we had at the time, and I'm sure when I update this version, there will be a big feature on Milpark as well. The second thing, you may almost be able to make it out there if you've got a microscopic vision, is a page that talks about what we were doing, what we've now been doing with digital exams. We had a 5-year plan to become more digital in our assessment of exams. Because of the pandemic, that was accelerated from about 5 years to about 5 months. So all of our exams now are online and digital, as many organisations, meaning that our learners can sit the exams in the comfort of their home or at a public exam centre, and also gives the benefit of having far greater flexibility in terms of timing. Okay, next slide. So one of the publications that we produced last year, which again is in the chat and available separately, was called A Constant Promise. And what we wanted to do here was celebrate and showcase a lot of the activity happening throughout Africa that we see. Since I was appointed to this role, although I've not had the opportunity yet to step foot in Africa due to coronavirus, I speak every day with numerous people throughout Africa, and I'm so excited with the work and the activity that's underway to build a trusted profession. And I wanted to make that, raise awareness of that, not just throughout Africa, but throughout the whole of the CI's membership around the world. So this is a 70-page report that kind of has got contributions from insurance associations, affiliated institutes, including an article from the Insurance Institute in South Africa, as well as many leading insurers, such as UAPL Mutual, Britam Insurance, and Nico Insurance, ICA Line, and many others that talk about the work they're doing to build professionalism, build learning and knowledge into how they operate. So, for example, you can see in there's an article about an insurer in Kenya that's establishing an academy to equip staff with knowledge and competence. There's an insurer in Malawi that's blending technical insurance competence with business skills to drive innovation and their transformation. There's one of the insurers in Tanzania, I think, that's using succession planning very much as a tool to provide career paths and motivation and to retain the best people by linking qualifications to the progression of people throughout their careers. There's a broker in Zambia that's mobilizing interest in professionalism amongst all the wider ecosystem of the insurance family in Zambia. There's an insurance institute that's advancing knowledge and industry-based research and really kind of pioneering that. And an insurance institute that's really kind of thinking about how to innovate and adapt its role for the modern era, the new ways in which people like to kind of network with each other, the ways in which people like to learn, share, and so on and so forth. So I'd encourage all of you, if you'd like to have a look at that. Hopefully there'll be plenty of insight in there that will help you if you're considering an insurance career. And indeed, if you have any feedback, any thoughts, then please feel free to drop me via Milpark a note with any thoughts on things we could cover in future. And then my final slide is taken from another publication we produced, which was called A World of Promise. So the last was A Constant Promise. A World of Promise, which is also available online, was celebrating some of the best practice, not just in Africa, but some of the things that we see throughout everywhere that we operate. So India, Asia Pacific, the Middle East, and so forth. And we have articles from education leaders, insurance practitioners, and many others there. And what I put on the right was this concept, the circle of trust, again, a bit small to see on the slide, but available separately, which came about because what I was trying to do was look at what are the things which individuals and organizations and the whole insurance family are doing to build trust globally, to really start sharing all of that, and came up with the 8 ideas that you can see there. That form the circle of trust very much. And this really came out of all of those conversations, But what I really found was that the mission of building public trust really was resonating widely, not just for economic, social, and career reasons. And the interesting thing about this, and it links very much into our conversations today, is that you can see in the top right of the circle, one of those 8 items was all to do with mainstream education and links between the insurance profession, the insurance companies, and educational bodies. 20 years or 10 years ago, there was the old trope that people tended to just fall into insurance as a second career. They often started in something else and then they moved on and they just found themselves in insurance without actually planning or wanting to be in insurance. And only when they started their career in insurance did they find out actually it is a very rewarding, in many ways, a career that accommodates many different personality types and offers very good career opportunities. And so what we were finding around the world is that the idea of studying insurance at educational institutions as part of that pathway into your career was really becoming embedded. I think we had an article in there from the Singapore College of Insurance on what they have done and how that has really helped to drive the insurance market and the establishment of insurance within Singapore. And that's either been done through dedicated insurance courses or modules within wider business qualifications. But for the first time, it's really creating that opportunity for professionals to make a seamless transition from their studies to their career. So it's not a kind of sudden cliff edge. I've finished at university or college and now it's on to my career, but actually it's far more aligned and linked in. And it really enables future leaders to be identified and mentored at an early age. So that's a kind of quick overview of some of the CI's activities, both globally and in Africa. As I say, Jeremy will talk in a little while about the specific qualification pathway and how that links to Milpark. But really delighted to be joining us today. Really looking forward to the start of a great relationship and welcoming many more people to this kind of wonderful global community of insurance practitioners. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. So as Marlies introduced me, I'm Marissa Grinling and I'm the lecturer and the program oversight owner for the Milpark's Higher Certificate in Short-Term Insurance. So I just want to give you guys a short overview. So if you are here and you have not done it and you're planning to complete this program, so the primary purpose of this higher certificate is then to equip the students with the knowledge and the skills that they require in the short-term insurance industry. And we'll go through all the modules in a little bit, but we have various streams, various places that you can specialize in. So one of the reasons why we are then here today is the accreditation. So we already have accreditation with the Insurance Institute of South Africa. So on completion of this Milpark's Higher Certificate in Short-Term Insurance, our students can apply to them for the designation of a licentiate and add at the end of the signature LIISA, which is always a nice thing to have. And why we are here today is then the recognition of prior learning with the Chartered Insurance Institutes, where they can also then add a cert CII behind their name by completing one additional module with the CII. So on the next slide, I want to quickly go through the program outcomes for this module. If you complete this module, there's a few key things that you will be able to do no matter what electives you choose. And that is then to apply the knowledge of legislation, compliance, and ethics in the short-term insurance context in South Africa, but also on a wider scale. And Lawrence was talking earlier about trust. Ethics for us is a very instilled in how we teach, what we teach, and to ensure that the people that graduate are ethical leaders that can take the insurance industry forward. We will also examine the nature of the short-term insurance environment in South Africa in terms of the structure and the role players, the regulation, and the specific consumer needs of the country. Then also apply the knowledge of the legislation, specifically in risk management, reinsurance practices, to provide a solution for a client. So that also depending on your speciality of subjects, you can then advise a client with regards to their insurance needs. Also to apply the principles of client relationship management in a compliant manner and in context of the short-term insurance. So on the next slide is our program structure. The higher certificate is comprised of a total of, you need to complete 6 modules. with a total of 120 credits. We have 4 compulsory modules that needs to be completed, and as you will see, we have a range of electives that the students can choose from, ranging from business management for the students that want to start their own brokerage, construction and engineering for the highly specialized like marine, as well as marine and aviation. Then we also have our introduction to underwriting, and also relationship management if you want to be a consultant and deal with people in the market. Then so that is like a broad overview of what we do in the higher certificates and what is offered. And on the next slide, I want to just quickly take you through the process of the registration with the CII, because if anyone has studied with Milpark, they will know we take your hand through the whole process and we will be there for you all the way. So the process then entails that you complete your higher certificate in short-term insurance with us, you graduate, you get your certificate. It's all wonderful. You can then inform us that you would like to register for the LPR with the CII, and we will guide you and assist you through the whole process to get that done. With the CII, you will then complete one additional module, and Jeremy will take you through the choices that you can make, and depending on where you want to go in your career. So the same as with our electives, depending on what you want to specialize in, you can then also choose your module there accordingly. And then once completed, you will then have 2 certificates. So you will have your higher certificate in short-term insurance with us, and you will also have an international certificate and the designation by the Chartered Insurance Institute. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. I am so proud to be here and to be part of this amazing journey with you. And I will hand over to Jeremy now to take you through the qualification journey and a little bit more information. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Marissa, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jeremy Mullen. I'm the accreditation manager at the Chartered Insurance Institute. I've looked at the Marissa's application and come out with the outcome that we have, which we're presenting here today. I've also spent a fair amount of time in Africa. A few years ago, I visited 10 countries in the continent, including South Africa. So it's great to be with you, albeit virtually, here today. So I'll talk about the recognition of prior learning, but I'd also just like to focus on the qualifications that we offer, because the recognition of prior learning leads to the qualifications. So we have 5 here on this slide. Starting from the left, we have the award in general insurance, which is around principles and practice. Now, this is one of the units you'll get exempted from with the prior learning award. But candidates can complete that 1 unit qualification. It's 1 unit, it's worth 15 CI credits. The CI credits are different to the Milpark credits. Just want to make sure that you know the way that the currency is different, but essentially it's 1 unit. We also have an award in customer service in insurance. Focuses very much on customer service within the insurance environment. Very suitable for those who are very customer focused in their role. Again, it's a single unit qualification, and it's candidates can use the CI award designation where they complete that unit directly with us. Moving on to the certificates, and I'll talk a bit more about this in just a moment. But the certificate in insurance is it's introductory. If we can just go back to the slide with the thanks very much. It says 40 CI credits, which effectively means 3 CII units. Although some of those can be achieved via prior learning. Candidates must complete at least 1 unit directly with us, and you'll see the relevance of that when we move to the next slide. But before we do, I'll just stick on this one. Once candidates have completed the certificate in insurance, as a CI member, you can use the Cert CI designation, which you can see there in the middle of the slide after your name in the way that Marissa has explained. Moving up in terms of complexity, we have the diploma in insurance. It requires 120 CI credits, which for most people is 5 CI units. 2 of them are compulsory, the law unit and 1 of the business units. So essentially 5, but the credits from the certificate and the prior learning that you receive will count up to the diploma. So you don't need to start it. You don't need to wipe your record clean in order to progress from certificate to diploma. And it's the same when candidates progress from the diploma to the advanced diploma. That's 290 CI credits, which for most people is around 12 exams. I say around because currently our credits have units have different credit values. So again, there are some core units on there, the same law and business as for the diploma. And in addition, candidates must complete at an advanced diploma level at least one of advanced claims, advanced broking, or advanced underwriting. And at the end of that, candidates can apply for the ACII designation after their name. So effectively, to upgrade the certificate to the diploma to the ACII, or simply just go straight in, depending on how candidates' journey works. And the one thing we don't have on the slide, but I'll just mention very briefly, is that once candidates have achieved the ACII designation and the Advanced Diploma in Insurance qualification, with 5 years industry practice, they can apply then for the chartered insurance, the chartered title as either chartered insurance practitioner, chartered insurer, chartered insurance broker. That again is a title which can be added in addition to the designation or post-nominal. So as we move on to the next slide, then I'll explain how the prior learning contributes to the achievement of the qualification. So the green squares in there, rectangles, sorry, are the prior learning, and you can see that you can claim up to 65 CI credits for completing the Milpark High Certificate in Short-Term Insurance. And then, as I said, you just need one unit then in order to achieve the certificate in insurance, the CI certificate in insurance, because you'll have had enough then for the prior learning. So your choice is quite flexible, really. We've just put 4 suggestions of units there. So if you anticipate that you just want the certificate in insurance, you don't want to move up to the diploma at any point, you could take the WCE, insurance claims handling, or the WUE, insurance underwriting. So they're at the same introductory level of complexity, and that would give you your certificate in insurance through the unit, most of the units being at certificate level. As I said, the units count up and down too. So if you did want to go up to the diploma or the advanced diploma, instead of taking the claims handling or the underwriting, you could take one of the 2 compulsory units that you would need to take for the diploma so that it counts towards 2 qualifications. And that's the MO5 law or the 530 economics and business. So there are other options available, and they are included in our catalogue. But that's probably the simplest way of explaining the prior learning. And if we just move on to the next slide, it's maybe a little difficult to see, but essentially it does show the choice of CI units. So you can see there that there are, well, 30 plus units that you could choose from according to your specialism. Everything from claims, underwriting, broking, risk management to lines of business like motor, liability, commercial property, BI. I'll not go through that in great detail. We do have the information in our brochure, and happy to share that with you. That wraps up what I wanted to say at the outset, but I'm sure there'll be some questions later, and I'm more than happy to answer them.
If I can maybe answer Teresa's question here, will the law subject be related to South Africa or the international legislation? Teresa, the law subject with the CII is related to the international law and also the law in the UK. The qualification is, however, built in such a way that the examples and the discussions that you use can relate to South African law as well. And luckily, because South African law is so widely based on the UK law and international law, it should be quite easy for you, and a lot of it should be very similar.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Hi, everyone. My name's Michaela. I'm sort of the behind-the-scenes person, and I'm going to sort of direct a few questions. I'm just going to remind everyone that we do have an Ask a Question facility at the bottom of the screen. I see, Marissa, we have some people asking for details about RE exams and preparations. We'll be sure to send you some details through after the session. And of course, we have someone asking if the presentation can be sent to them via email. Do not worry, guys. The session is recorded. You are more than welcome to come back to the same link. It will be here. Do you guys have any more questions? I see we have another one. Will we enjoy exemption for the subjects completed on the BCom short-term degree? Marissa, do you want to jump in there?
Yes, it also relates to the a question that Israel has posted in the question box or the messaging box there. Marlies answered it. So guys, you must please be all very nice to Jeremy, as we have sent through our accreditation for those two. So please send smiles and hugs and everything to Jeremy, so that we can get that information and get that out to you guys as well.
Would you like me just to say a couple of words on that?
More than welcome.
Fabulous. So essentially, Marissa has submitted the both those qualifications to us for application. We're partway through carrying out a mapping exercise, and once we've completed that mapping exercise, then we'll be able to go back to with the outcome. I am expecting it to have prior learning awards, and for those prior learning awards to count not only to the CI certificate in insurance, but also to the diploma and also to the advanced diploma. So that would mean that you'd need to do fewer CI units in order to achieve those CI qualifications. And I'll be able to share details of that with Marissa, and then we'll get that information out then in conjunction with Marissa. What we have on our exemptions database, a list of the qualifications from all around the world, which include Milpark qualifications and the prior learning awards that we offer for those qualifications. So at the moment we have the higher certificate in short-term insurance on there, and then in the next, I would say within the next month or so, then I'd expect to have the others on there as well. It's just going through the detailed mapping process currently.
Awesome. Thank you so much for answering that. I have another question for Marissa. Just in general, I think if we've completed the advanced certificate, do we need to complete the additional module still to obtain the HCII? That was from, there is no name here, but yeah, if you could, it's in our questions box.
Okay, no problem. Look, it will depend on how you got to the advanced certificate. If you've done a previous NKF level 5 higher certificate in short-term insurance, you will just have to directly go to the CII and they can assist you through that process. And then as soon as we get the information for the advanced one, we can also send that through to you.
Awesome. Okay, so there's another question. There's quite a few that are coming through. Thanks so much, guys. Just to say, if we don't get through to everyone's, I mean, we do have a bit of time, but if we don't get through to everyone's questions, do not panic. We will contact those who have asked amazing questions, and we do encourage you to continue talking in the chat. And don't forget, there is a poll live to let us know if you do want more detail. Another question from Marissa. How does this fit into the postgraduate diploma in financial planning? I think we're thinking ahead. James, there we go.
No, it's wonderful. Thank you so much. We are busy accrediting all the short-term insurance, as there is, especially in Africa, as we have seen, and Lawrence has also seen. There's such a great need for education in the short-term or the non-life insurance industry that we have started with this. We will, however, in the future start sending. I mean, Jeremy is flooded as it is, so we will be sending through the other accreditations as well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. There's a question. Does the CII extend to life insurance? That's a question. Does someone want to jump in there?
Lawrence, do you want me to take that one?
Yeah, I'm happy for you to take that.
Okay, fine. So we do have some life insurance units. We're currently reviewing them because we've essentially we're going to the market to say what do you want to include within our life insurance units. So that's everything in terms of life underwriting, claims, private medical. So we have one currently at certificate level, which is insurance healthcare products. It does have quite a strong UK bias to it in terms of regulation, but that's not to say that it cannot be relevant. And then at our diploma level, the next level up, that's where we're assessing at the moment what the market needs. So if you'd like to be part of that discussion to help us work out the learning outcomes and the content for that, then please do get in touch, and I'll put you in contact with colleagues who are looking at that.
Awesome. There is another question. Does the HCII equate to an NQF qualification? Marissa, I think this will be for you. If it is it NQF 5? Is it the ACI NQF 6? Or question mark? So that's another question.
Okay, yeah, the higher certificates in short-term insurance. So obviously it's accredited with all our amazing professional bodies. It is also accredited with SAQA, which is the South African Quality Assurance in the Higher Education Department. So it's definitely registered there, and it is on an NQF level 5. Our advanced certificate is on a 6, and then the BCom is on a level 7.
Okay, awesome. I see that there are quite a few people who are asking us for contact details. So guys, I'm going to say give us a yes on the poll. It's an easy way for us to get in contact with you, so you don't have to copy down an email address. You'll see it. I know it says if you're in the learning and development teams of the company, but pop us a yes there if you'd like us to get in contact with you, because then I can ring fence that and make sure Marissa and the team gets that information. There is another question. How do we go about registering for the Cii accreditation? Marissa, if you'd like to take that.
Okay, yes, no problem. Guys, you are welcome to reach out now. Put your number and say there yes on the poll. We will get back to you. The CII is in the process of confirming I see someone did ask about the pricing as well. They are in the process of confirming our pricing. And all of that, and we will then take all that information and send it to them, and as I said, we will help you through the whole process, but please do get in touch. We will send out bulk emails to get all the information we require for them, and then assist them in the whole process.
Awesome. I see everyone's indicating yes in the chat. Don't forget, guys, it's in the poll as well. So I will make sure that I get down all your names as well, but make sure that in the poll, at the bottom of the screen, it's next to ask a question. The poll is live, and you just give a little. I see there's some people are filling it out. Awesome stuff. Okay. Are there any other questions?
Would you like me to pick up on the? Would you like me to pick up on the question on pricing at all?
If you have more information, it would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So we're currently just finalising our new pricing structure from the 1st of May. And what I'm doing and hopefully we're going to have sign off of that literally by the end of this week, which will enable me next week to send a price list over to Milpark for them to circulate as they wish. A couple of things to let you know. One is it's dollar pricing rather than we have in the past been British pound pricing, and as part of moving to become more international, we're becoming multi-currency. Pricing obviously varies by unit and also by whether or not you're a member of the CI or not a member of the CI. So that will all be on the flyer which I send through. But just to give you a sense, it ranges from at the kind of lowest level and the shortest level of units from $220 for a member, $290 for a non-member, and then when you get up to the level 6, the very complex more the units that you need for the advanced diploma, then it varies from around $800 for a member to about $980 for a non-member. So that's the and then in between that there's a big range which you'll see on the price list which I send through. I saw there was also a question about the semesters. So what you'll see on this, for each unit, there's a recommended number of study hours. So we don't have kind of fixed term semesters as maybe that question was asking. So it's entirely within your control. The number of recommended study hours per unit varies from one extreme, from the lowest level, from about 40 up to around about 150 hours. Some people find they need less, some might need more for those units, depending on what level of knowledge they have beforehand. And what we're actually finding is that because of the pandemic and people working from home, actually people are finding that in terms of kind of elapsed time, they're able to complete their study quicker in terms of number of weeks, stroke months than they previously were when they had a lot of travel and so forth to take into account in the working week. And then, as I kind of mentioned in my introductory remarks, in the past it was necessary to do our exams on fixed dates, one in April, one in October, because of moving to digital examinations with more flexibility around that. So you can do it effectively whenever one of our online invigilators is available to invigilate and proctor.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that detail. It's really important. I also see there's quite a lot of questions about the poll. Guys, I've put up another poll. For those who couldn't answer that or couldn't change their answer from the first one, there is a second one live as well. So if you've already indicated no on the first one and now you can't change your answer, don't worry. I've put a second one on. So you can pop a yes there if you've changed your mind. Not to worry. We are here to help and to give in detail. I see that there is another question. Do we first become a member or do we first do the module? That's a question. I don't know who wants to take that answer.
It's not me.
It's from Teresa.
Jeremy, do you want to talk to that?
Yeah, sure. You have the choice. We make our CI units available for members and non-members. There is a price differential, so most people find that it is price favourable to become a member and pay the CI member price. But what I would say is you have the choice. So hopefully they have the flexibility there to choose as you wish. And again, for the prior learning, when you come to pay for the prior learning, we have a member price and a non-member price. So again, I think most people find if they want to claim their prior learning and complete the CI unit in order to complete the CI qualification, it is price favorable to become a member. And of course, when you're a member, you can then display the CII designation, the Cert CII, for example, the example that I showed, and DIP CI for when for later on. Then you can only do that for as long as you're a member. So we do encourage you to be a member, but you don't have to.
And then the thing I'd add to that is we do have favourable membership rates internationally compared to the UK. Again, this will be on what I send through next week. So if you have a look at our website and see the UK member pricing, that's not what would apply. So in Africa, just to kind of give you the sense, for an ordinary member, it's per annum, it's $56 US, and that goes up depending on whether you're qualified or a fellow. To the highest amount would be $157 once you become chartered. And then, as Jeremy mentioned, that gives you access to the favourable membership rates, or the favourable rates for the qualifications. So with the example I gave, which was $70 cheaper for a member, then you can see yourself it kind of quickly pays off.
Okay, awesome. That's great. So guys, we will send more detail to you guys in terms of how much the membership is, how much is the course, so where do I find more detail. Just remember to pop a yes in the poll. It's at the bottom of the screen, and we will send you some more detail. I see there's actually quite an interesting question. One of them was from Kimura. She says, can we just clarify, even if you want to do an NQF6, can it be done electronically, even the exam? So are all of our exams online? Is it all in the time of COVID? What is the story there? And we don't jump in.
Well, it depends on if you want to do your NQF6 with us, but I think the answer is the same for us and with the CII. All our exams are also online now. It is remotely proctored or invigilated, so everything is online. You can go study in Bermuda as long as you have a solid internet connection.
Awesome, and that is fantastic. You know, being online and being able to study in these times. I definitely would like a holiday in Bermuda. I think that'd be great. But for now, it's great to know that you can log in anywhere in the world.
And
we have
the tax structure is so good.
So we've already answered this one. I know there's one more question. There's a couple more questions. I see there. what does proctored mean? Angelique's asked that question. Who would like to jump in there?
I'll jump in. I've been talking about proctoring for the last 2 weeks, so it's fresh in my mind. So online proctoring, Angelique and everyone, it is a remote invigilated program. It is run on AI, so artificial intelligence. I'm not going to go too much in that because I'm going to fall on my face. But what it essentially does is, like my camera is on now, while I am writing my exam, the system itself records me. So no one is watching me, nothing. And the system, the AI behind it is so smart. It picks up if I'm looking up, if I'm leaving the room, if I'm using my cell phone, if I'm using my book, well, if it's a closed book exam, and then the system flags it and it informs us. So it is like sitting in a hall where you are writing your exam, except you can sit in your living room or in your wherever you are, or in Bermuda. Why not?
Sounds like a very comfortable exam session, to be honest. But it is recording me, so I must remember that. Are there any guys? Are there any other sort of questions for our lovely panelists? Again, if there's any questions with regards to pricing, if there's any questions regarding to how do I apply, how does that work? Just indicate a yes in the poll, indicate a yes in the chat. We will get in contact with you. If there's any more specific questions for our panel members, pop it in the chat, pop it in the Ask a Question facility. Is the NQF6 all open book? Angelique's asked.
Is this for this advanced certificate or for the advanced certificate?
I think it is for the advanced certificate she's asking.
For the advanced certificate, there is 5 of them are closed book, and then there's one that is a summative hand-in, which is a very big project that you need to do, which you get a week for.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah,
I'm more of a project person myself. I don't know about you guys, but exams usually terrify me. So definitely advanced certificate. So yeah, that's definitely.
But the advanced certificate is an absolute. It is a. I almost want to say it is a must. If I could, I would make it a regulatory qualification because it is so interesting and you learn so much. Just broaden your horizons.
Someone's asked, Tokozani's asked, what happens if you only have a desktop which has no camera? How would you sit one of those exams? That's an interesting question. Not sure if we can answer that one, but Marissa, do you have a comment?
No problem. It's not really in the scope of this webinar, but it's no problem. I think we can answer that. You can either get a webcam for yourself, or we will also, if there's no other way, we will arrange venues, or you can go right at campus in our computer labs there. We will make a plan and try and assist as far as we can.
Awesome. And I see Jeremy's also popped me the information with regards to their website. Jeremy, you're welcome to share it as well in the chat. So you can just pop that straight across into the chat for the link for people to follow the qualifications from your guys' side. But yes, I see we've gone through quite a few questions. I think I'll start wrapping up the session. So guys, if there's any last minute things, any comments, give us a thumbs up if you're doing okay, if you're excited. We are really looking forward to this journey, and you know, it's definitely in the time of 2021. It's about connection. It's about making new friends. It's about, I don't know if we can say we're friends yet, but definitely learning more. And this is another step, an amazing step in our learning journey. As we say, our messaging is an extraordinary life, partnering with you on your learning journey, and that is what we want to definitely to share with you guys, is that it's definitely a step-by-step with you every step of the way. So make sure that you pop it. There we go. We've got Tika gave us a smile. I love big teeth smile, and Warren gave us a thumbs up. Thank you. All good. Yes. Awesome guys. Okay. So if there is nothing last minute, no last minute panic questions, I'm going to say thank you so much to the guys from our financial planning and insurance, well, specifically our short-term insurance team. Marissa, thank you so much to Lawrence and Jeremy. Would you guys like to make any last comments or remarks? Anything else you want to sort of leave with us today?
Just to wish very best wishes to everyone with your learning journey. Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you very much for Milpark for kind of setting this up and making this happen. It's been
yes, thank you. Awesome, and also thank you to Marilee. She's not, she was the one who introduced everything. She is our executive dean. We say thank you so much for introducing us and for starting the session off. And thank you so much to Marissa for organizing this. And we really look forward to our partnership with you guys. And we hope that you all have a fantastic day further. And we will send you information. Don't worry, we'll get in contact. The link is going to be, well, this whole session is recorded. It's available on exactly the same link. So if you'd like to watch it later, review any of the questions, you can go back. Same link and check it out there. But thank you so much from our side. We all hope you all have a great day and a fantastic week further. And yes, thank you so much again to our panelists. Thanks so much, guys. I'm going to wave. I always wave at the end of sessions. So bye.
Bye.